Hi everyone. When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was running against Joe Crowley, progressives on both sides of the Atlantic, in America and in the UK, were really excited about her chances, and then she went and won. And we were even more excited. I remember doing a video and explaining how the media now had to take notice of progressives and the progressive movement in the US, and they have. She's been great. Now, she was inducted into Congress in January, and apart from a couple of things early on, she had to endorse Nancy Pelosi. She was sort of, browbeaten into that. She had no choice. But still, it really does. It doesn't taste well. It doesn't sit well in the mouth of progressives, seeing people, go along with the status quo rather than, as I've said before, they were charged with the task of going into Congress and not getting a seat at the table of committees. They were tasked with going into committees and kicking over the chairs and throwing the tables out the window. That's what they were tasked to do. Since she's got there, honestly, however high my expectations of her were, and they are high because I think she's great, she's exceeded them. And then some, because in the last remember, she protested outside Nancy Pelosi's office, for a Green New Deal, I think on her first or second day in Congress. Nancy Pelosi's, she's really got under Nancy Pelosi's skin. Nancy Pelosi's making quips yesterday about the Green New Deal that Ocasio-Cortez has launched, which again, I'll go into depth about, calling it a dream. Nancy Pelosi was, derisory. But in the last few weeks, she's been great, especially at batting down any criticism of her, because let's face it, some of the criticisms have been quite childish. But now have put out this video because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was on a committee in the last couple of days, and I'm just going to play this. It's wonderful.
It's already super legal, as we've seen, for me to be a pretty bad guy. So it's even easier for the President of the United States to be one, I would assume.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Let's play a lightning round game.
February the 6th, though, yeah, it's 2 days ago.
I'm going to be the bad guy, which I'm sure half the room would agree with anyway. And I want to get away with as much bad things as possible, ideally to enrich myself and advance my interest, even if that means putting my interests ahead of the American people.
She has literally just described 90% of Congress and the Senate.
I have enlisted all of you as my co-conspirators, so you're going to help me legally get away with all of this. So, Mrs. Hobart Flynn, I want to run. If I want to run a campaign that is entirely funded by corporate political action committees, is there anything that legally prevents me from doing that?
No.
Okay, so there's nothing stopping me from being entirely funded by corporate PACs, say from the fossil fuel industry, the healthcare industry, big pharma. I'm entirely 100% lobbyist PAC funded. Okay, so let's say I'm a really, really bad guy, and let's say I have some skeletons in my closet that I need to cover up so that I can get elected. Mr. Smith, is it true that you wrote this article, this opinion piece for the Washington Post entitled, "These payments to women were unseemly, that doesn't mean they were illegal"?
Well, I can't see the piece, but I wrote a piece under that headline in the Post, so I assume that's right.
Okay, great. So, green light for hush money.
She's talking about the president there. She must be.
I can do all sorts of
paying
terrible
Stormy
things.
Daniels.
It's totally legal right now for me to pay people off. And that is considered speech. That money is considered speech. So I use my special interest dark money funded campaign to pay off folks that I need to pay off and get elected. So now I'm elected, now I'm in. I've got the power to draft, lobby, and shape the laws that govern the United States of America. Fabulous. Now, is there any...
Don't you just love the way she's breaking this down into layman's terms? This is why I think that she has got such broad appeal, because every day Americans are looking at her and saying, oh, thanks so much. Finally, we have a politician we can understand and who speaks to us and explains things in a way that doesn't, dress it up in a word salad so nobody can understand anything. I absolutely love this.
Hard limit that I have, perhaps Mrs. Hobart Flynn, is there any hard limit that I have in terms of what legislation I'm allowed to touch? Are there any limits on the laws that I can write or influence, especially if I'm based on the special interest funds that I accepted to finance my campaign and get me elected in the first place?
There's no limit.
So there's none. So I can be totally funded by oil and gas. I can be totally funded by Big Pharma, come in, write Big Pharma laws, and there's no limits to that whatsoever.
That's right.
Okay, so awesome. Now, Mr. Mirabani, the last thing I want to do is get rich with as little work possible.
In the edit above my head, I'll just put a list of the amount of, and a link below this article to the people in Congress and the Senate, how much they were worth before they entered Congress and how much they were worth now. It's quite amazing reading, and this is what she's touching on there.
That's really what I'm trying to do as the bad guy, right? So is there anything preventing me from holding stocks, say, in an oil or gas company, and then writing laws to deregulate that industry and cause, that could potentially cause the stock value to soar and accrue a lot of money in that time?
You could do that.
So I could do that. I could do that now with the way our current laws are set up. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Is it possible that any elements of this story apply to our current government and our current public servants right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Look at the way they're answering. They're actually answering almost with smiles on their face. They're actually enjoying this. The people she's grilling are enjoying it.
So we have a system that is fundamentally broken. We have these influences existing in this body, which means that these influences are here in this committee shaping the questions that are being asked of you all right now. Would you say that that's correct,
Yes.
Mr. Mirabani or Mr. Schaub?
Yes.
All right, so
Look at him
one last
smiling.
thing, Mr.
The guy
Schaub.
on second from the end.
In relation to congressional oversight that we have, the limits that are placed on me as a congresswoman, compared to the executive branch and compared to, say, the President of the United States, would you say that Congress has the same sort of standard of accountability? Is there more teeth in that regulation in Congress on the President, or would you say it's about even, or more so on the federal?
In terms of laws that apply to the president, yeah, there's just almost no laws at all that apply to the president.
So I'm being held, and every person in this body is being held to a higher ethical standard than the President of the United States.
That's right, because there are some ethics committee rules that apply to you.
And it's already super legal, as we've seen, for me to be a pretty bad guy. So it's even easier for the President of the United States to be one, I would assume.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
That was brilliant. Well done, now this for putting that together, because I don't think that, I think it's got like 16.8 million views. That is huge, brilliant. I'll put a link to that down there below if you want to share it. Give credit to Now This for it all. Because what she's just done there, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, just to really ram the point home, what she's just done is she just, by asking simple questions in layman's terms that ordinary people, ordinary folks can understand, maybe those who don't know much about politics or law or anything like that, she's explained it in such a way that even an imbecile, having watched that, could now understand why America is not a democracy anymore. It's actually an oligarchy, and how their system is totally, fundamentally broken. And it's taken a 28-year-old freshman to come into Congress and actually stir the hornet's nest up like this. Keep going, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. What's she, 28 now? She's going to be 35 because she's president. 2028? After 2 terms of Tulsi? I wouldn't mind that. Would you? Brilliant. Well done, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Just, you keep shocking me with your amazement. You keep shocking everybody with how great you've been. And brilliantly well done to Now This for putting that together. Go on. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's got a bright future in front of her. What do you think? For more truly honest, independent media like the video you just saw, please subscribe and click the bell below as well so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. If you also like and share and comment on the video as well, that really helps with the algorithm and boosts exposure. And if you can support me, please do so. You can do with any of the avenues on the screen at the moment and below this video. You can support me for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, and every dollar helps. We need your support at the moment. We do not have an operating fourth estate. I'm sure you're aware, a functioning media holding power accountable is vital for democracy. At the moment, we haven't got it. So people like me are having to fill their shoes and do the job for them with your support. Thanks very much for your support. Till next time. Peace and take care.